The Vanguard Cabinet consists of 140 people ranging in ages of, between 20 and 40.
We broke out into maybe about 10 or 12 different committees.
Vanguard for us is about bringing a slightly different community of people into the problem-solving process. We're younger, we're more energetic, we have a slightly different view of the universe than a lot of people who are locally active in the political spectrum. And so we're thinking about things in a slightly different way. We also tend to be, a very large percentage of us aren't from St. Louis originally, and so we have external expertise and external exposure.
The really neat thing about it, that 140 is really doing all the groundwork, the foundation building.
They're broken up into committees, separate committees with specific emphasis. So we have education and cultural diversity, economic development, public relations, urban planning.
The whole organization, we've had a couple of really good meetings, gotten to some good face time with the mayor, gotten to hear a sense from him and the city directors as to what they're looking for, the kinds of challenges they're dealing with. I'll talk about the multicultural committee because that's the one I'm on, and we're really focused on expanding the conversations in the city and unifying all the different cultural communities here.
I'm actually on the education committee. I'm actually co-chair. I think a lot of the things that the mayor, challenges and the policies that they're working on, at some point it always ties back to education.
You look at educational institutions regionally that are graduating students, and a very small percentage of them are actually moving to St. Louis. They're going to other cities, larger cities, whatever. And then just the public school system in and of itself is such a unique challenge, I think, and it gets back to the decentralized political nature that has kind of allowed it to get to the state it's currently in, and that's something we've got to fix.
I think there's a push for young people to be involved in St. Louis. As we all know, the baby boomers are starting to retire. I think our mayor, at some point, as wonderful as he is, would like to retire and have a life of his own. And I think there aren't many young people on the forefront looking to take his place. And also I think there's a push for young people to be involved in the city.
It's really up to us, as myself as a committee chair and members of each committee. We come in, we meet, individual committees meet. If they have subcommittees, they meet, and then we come back to the steering committee with all the Vanguard chairs, and we decide how can we collaborate and integrate and interconnect.
From a marketing perspective, it's a lot easier to sell a city to somebody that might be interested if there are young, cool, hip people making things happen. I mean, that's really easy to attract them, but to retain them as well.
Having young, progressive, young professionals, if you know anything about the 70s, it was those people that really changed a culture.
The key to success for cities is retaining their educated, young demographic. So we want to show them that with this cabinet and with the things that this cabinet does, that there is a place for them here and opportunities for them to stay, and that it's important to St. Louis that they stay.